All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Jonathan Prue. I am a part of the AMZ Soldier community, and I am an active seven-figure Amazon seller. And today in this video here, I just would like to talk a little bit about my experience in the oil and gas and how I'm relating some of those systems that I learned in the oil and gas industry to my online Amazon business today. So I guess just to start off, quick backstory. I worked in the oil and gas for 8 years before I decided to switch over to Amazon. And one of the things that we learned while working in the oil and gas was there was always new people coming in from all over the world. So to me, it relates a lot to delegation or a lot to new hires or a lot to scaling your Amazon business because you need to train new people all the time. You need to have these systems in place all the time. So what the oil field did a lot, they would have a lot of, what you would call just orientation. And orientation, they would have recorded videos that would go through, hours of content. And those hours of content are recorded content that everybody is going to know and everybody's going to have the same information and be on the same page for orientation after orientation after orientation. So even if thousands and thousands of people come through, it's the same processes and everybody follows the same rules and guidelines. So for me, that applies in your Amazon business because if I apply a certain set of rules and I understand how specific things work, then I know that when I delegate it, I can understand what that person is thinking. I can understand why that person is doing what they're doing. And we're always on the same page. So it's very, very important to just have everybody on the same page. So, keeping it very structured of the same kind of way you do it, you want them to do it. So it's an initial structure that has to be taught almost as a culture for the site that you're going to go on, right? So everybody needs to be on the same page. So I like to apply those types of things in my business. If I'm going to get, people doing product research, I'm going to have my systems and my training videos in place. That's going to allow me to, I know that when they're listening to these videos and doing that work, that they're doing it exactly how I do it. So I can be confident that it's all being done the same. So it's just a very good peace of mind. And then also, the benefit of recording videos and recording content for teaching purposes is if somebody doesn't work out, you have the videos so you can retrain somebody else. Always think, don't always think that the person you're going to get is not going to work out. But, it's just good to have systems in place where if somebody were to ever leave or not work out, you don't have to go over it one-on-one anymore. You have a bunch of videos kind of to start. So that was just kind of one way that the oil and gas applies. Another way that the oil and gas applies is as accountability. So in the oil and gas industry, when we take our work and we need to take our ISOs and our isometric drawings and we need to go into the field and we need to do some work, we actually need to sign off on the work we've done. So there's steps, procedures. I understand these steps. I understand these procedures because I've done the orientation. I've done the training. So now I show up to site and I understand what I need to do. Just like the person that you've outsourced your work to comes to work, understanding what they need to do. Now what happens is there's an accountability factor. So what we call those in the oil and gas is like an FLRA or a THA. So it's basically, a step-by-steps of what you need to do, shows you all your hazards, things you might have missed. So it's about being very aware of the system. So we don't have much hazards because we work in offices a lot now. But our, version of our FLRA or our check sheet is simply exactly what it sounds like. It's simply just a check sheet. So everybody has learned the steps. The check sheet is actually attached to the work. So the work that was done today, whatever that work was done, your VA or your assistant has done the work, and they sign off on the work every single day. And at the end of the day, they actually hand in that document that shows that they've signed off on everything. So this is good for a few reasons. for one, it's step-by-step processes. So if it says like, for very simple, it's do a walk around. Oil and gas example is do a walk around your truck, make sure everything's good, do an inspection. And you wrote check. Went out to the field, did a walk around, made sure there was no garbage lying around. Check. Did the work all day. It was a good day. Nobody got hurt. Check. Right? You check all these things off. It allows people, for one, to remember the things they're supposed to do throughout the day. And for two, it allows there to be a very high accountability factor. So that means that if that person checked, I did a walk around and I did the inspection on the vehicle, but at the end of the day, the vehicle has a giant hole in it, or damaged, or you were driving around with a flat tire all day, or something crazy was there and you actually checked it, but you didn't do the step, then right there, that the person is not doing what you're paying them to do. So the accountability right there is instantly, you can see it. There's no room for error. They have their checklists. Do this, do this, do this, sign off, tell us that you did this, this, and this. When you're done, submit that to us, and we can be sure that the job is done right. And if the job is not done right, well, then there's accountability because there's signatures here. So it might seem a bit strict, but again, the oil and gas industry is kind of like an online business if it's spreading out super fast, or if you're scaling super fast on a small scale. We go through a lot of people. We go through VAs. We try to get new people to work with us all the time, and we go through people. So to put steps in that they do, having all these people from all over the world, all these different cultures, different language, different ways to understand. Some people are better with video. Some people are better with PDF. Some people, like to read more than watch things, so all of these systems, you can see how multi-million-dollar business like the oil and gas industry works, and apply it to your Amazon business. And that's how I apply it to. This is actually a real picture of a site that I worked on for about a year. And these good memories. I'd like to take the silver lining out of every experience. I'm grateful for the oil and gas, and I'm grateful that I won't be going back anytime soon. So I hope the analogies helped. Anybody that's oil and gas will really get it. Everybody else, I hope that it was great. And I hope that you got value from the video. And subscribe, ask questions, AMZ soldiers. See you on the next.